The box was right next to the police.
I think there was concern that there was some contraband that was being brought in.
We'd been behaving terribly for a long time.
What commentary team brings in like a $500,000 brick of cocaine into their studio?
We were incredibly focused going into that.
Never been as high. The confidence. We got raided by the cops.
And left me as the intern in the commentary box.
Terrible idea. I can't believe we would have done that. That doesn't sound like something that a professional commentary team would have done.
So the paintball test, so it was the first ever paintball test in New Zealand. So much hype and anticipation around this paintball test.
Fantastic situation. New Zealand cricket on a high. The confidence on New Zealand cricket at that point, never been as high. The confidence.
It was at Eden Park. I can remember they had a big beer garden and food trucks out the back. It was going to be epic. We wore yellow armbands just in memory of the careers of Steve Smith and David Warner. It was right in the middle of that test match with Sandpaper Gate. Didn't go down too well, I don't think, with the officials. But that's right, there was a lot going on that weekend. And it was actually the first time we partnered with Sky, and we were going to be on the yellow button. So you could watch Sky, and for the first time ever, you could press the yellow button and you could get our commentary in sync with Sky, which was a big deal for us back then.
That paintball test at Eden Park, what a great time to be alive. Paintball yellow button, paintball yellow button. Paintball.
I believe the ACC was located for our commentary that day at the ground, and it was the first time we'd ever been away from the Caravan and been at the ground. We were allowed our own commentary position.
They wouldn't put us near the mainstream commentary. Smithy didn't want a bar of us. So we were on the complete opposite side of the stadium to the Sky team, in a box that was built for Ian Botham.
And I believe it was Beefy Botham's special commentary box.
Ian Botham, he didn't like the angle of the other commentary box. So I think that the Beefy Botham box, and we'd been behaving terribly for a long time in our Caravan. Now we're in this official box and we're like, okay, cool, we can just run this sensibly. We can run this, we'll just behave.
We had the commentary box, we needed to make it our own. So we filled it with paraphernalia. So we had the Richard Hadley decanter, we had the underarm ball, we had things there to make us feel at home.
The ACC travel with a large brick of cocaine. It's about this big. It's not real cocaine. It was for the promotion of the Tom Cruise movie American Made.
So it was basically icing sugar packed up to look like a package of cocaine, like a full block brick of cocaine. And we had that in the centre of the table.
So the door right across from us not only had New Zealand cricket, who were keeping a keen eye on us after our behaviour in the Cricket World Cup, or our alleged behaviour in the Cricket World Cup, but also security and police.
And we came in for, I think it might have been day 2, and it had a big knife through the centre of it. And we'd found out that through someone at New Zealand Cricket that someone had reported to be cocaine in our studio. And so they did a big full security check and cut it open and tested it, and would have been bitterly disappointed when they found out it was icing sugar. But what commentary team brings in like a $500,000 brick of cocaine into their studio? That's how much they thought of us, and they actually thought it was real cocaine, which I don't know if it's a feather in our cap or not, but I'll take it.
I was disappointed when the police and security raided our box, because I didn't think we deserved that. I don't think they understood the level of professionalism that we had taken into that particular match.
We genuinely thought that England were going to take a record off us that we most desperately want to lose, and that is the lowest ever test score. And we almost had them. I think they were 9 down for 28 or something, and then they managed to fart through to 60 or 70. But lovely Trenty had that pink ball on a string.
Here's Trenty again.
Oh, it's gone.
Cook, and he's caught at second slip. It's a great delivery from lovely Trenty. It was full and had Cook pushing forward.
Here's Root facing Trenty.
Oh, he's bowled him! Beautiful delivery from lovely Trenty. Straight through the gate. Too good for Root. What a start for lovely Trenty. England 6 for 2.
Oh, yeah, England actually 16 for 2 as lovely Trenty comes in, edge and taken. Milan gone for 2. Big, thick outside edge and a great catch by, is that the keeper, Scotty J. Stevenson, or was that first slip?
Bradley John Watling diving across.
It was lovely Trenty into the... and bowled him! A beautiful delivery by lovely Trenty, and he has sawn the Gay Avenger in half and clean bowled him.
I don't own a vagina, but I think being hit in the vagina would hurt too.
Here's lovely Trenty. Oh! Brilliant bowl.
5 for.
That's 5 for lovely Trenty, and England 23 for 7. Gives lovely Trenty to Jimmy Anderson. Short, and he kind of grabs the straight to point net all out. A weak shot. Lovely Trenty gets 6. 6 for 32. Lovely Trenty, and England all out for a humiliating 58.
Hi, my name's Jesse Williamson, no relation to Kane. And in 2018, I was an intern for the Alternative Commentary Collective. Paintball 2018, I feel like there was a lot of rain delays.
One thing that ACC's always been proud of is we'll call a rain delay sooner than anyone else. We'll call a rain delay on the first drop. So you can see how it's going to play out, but all the more sort of official people have to wait. They have to pretend. So we called it, and we went to Jeremy Wells's bar in Ponsonby and really leaned into it,
And started drinking at maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And we proceeded to get quite hammered.
Guy Montgomery turned up, the comedian Guy Montgomery, and he had to go to a gig and he'd lost his phone. And so we said, we'll pay for an Uber for you. And so we organised to send him to his comedy gig via Uber, but then we kept changing the place of where the Uber was going. He was not happy about that. He was late to his gig. People were furious, and we were watching where he was going. And then finally he got out, realising what was actually happening. It took him about half an hour to work out what was happening. He still talks about that.
I'm not going to name names, but let's just call him, I'll call him G. I'll call him Lane. I won't say who it was, but at one point we put him in an Uber to go home. And I don't know what happened, but he popped back out again. We saw him in the Uber, and then he was sitting out the front again. And so we put him in another Uber, and then no one to this day knows what happened with these Ubers, but then he was back out the front of the bar again. It was some kind of a magic trick. Meanwhile, we've got like an intern broadcasting for us at the ground at the time.
Then got a text saying the covers are coming off. We need to get an update on Sky from you guys. And they all thought we were still at the ground, and every single one of us, except our intern, who we'd left there to make sure that the live feed was still going out on iHeartRadio. And we had to give him the news that he was going to have to do an update on Sky of the rain delay, which was quite amusing because we were in no state to go back on air.
And I just remember sitting there having to do live updates as an intern, and it was terrible stuff. And I'd get a text from Mike Lane saying, we're coming back, and they'd just never show up. And yeah, it was actually quite tough.
Leaving Jess the Pest in a commentary box to do updates for Sky is a terrible idea. I can't believe we would have done that. That doesn't sound like something that a professional commentary team would have done.
A number of us were probably carrying a number of diseases and so forth.
That Arse on the Glass promotion was one of the best radio promotions I've ever been associated with.
Well, the crowd were banging on the side of our caravan all day. They were trying to climb in the windows.
They said we were inciting drinking.
And that was it, I think. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Poor Lee Hart had to buff so many beers.
I don't recall that.